Crimean War. Background on the Crimean War. The Crimean War took place from 1853 to 1856 and pitted the Russians against the British, French, and Ottoman Turks with support of the army of Sardinia-Piedmont. The war was named for the Crimean Peninsula, in which now is Ukraine, which was the main side of the conflict. The starting of the war. The war started mainly from the great powers in the Middle East, but was more directly caused by the Russians' demand to exercise protection over the Orthodox subjects of the Ottoman Sultan. It was really just a religious disagreement, because of which Tsar Nicholas I of Russia decided to activate his Southern Army Corps and the Black Fleet in late December 1852. Following the activation, in 1853, Tsar Nicholas I of Russia demanded the right to protect the Christian peoples and the shrines in Jerusalem and then part of the Ottoman Empire, which was Muslim. The Turkish Sultan took a firm stand against Russia and eventually declared war on the country. When news of the Turkey's declaration got out, Britain and France feared that if Russia was not stopped, it would win control of the Balkans, the Eastern Mediterranean, and even the Middle East. So the two countries both aligned with Turkey. August of 1854. By August of 1854, Turkey, with the help of Britain, France, and Sardinia, had driven the Russian forces out of the Balkans. The main battle at the Crimean Peninsula. In September 1854, the Allies landed troops in Russian Crimea and began a year-long siege of the Russian fortress in Sevastopol. The Allies landed in Evatoria, defeated the Russians at the Alma River on September 20th, 1854, and began a year-long siege of the Russian fortress of Sevastopol. On January 26, 1855, Sardinia-Piedmont entered the war and sent 10,000 troops. The Russians attempted to drive the other countries out of Balklava, but failed. The other countries then tried to besiege Sevastopol, where Russia counterattacked them at Crimean on November 5th, 1854. The other countries reinforced and renewed their stage in February 1853. The battle at Crimean in 1853. When Nicholas I passed, Alexander II took over the crown on March 2nd. Turkey held off a Russian counterattack and a summer descent on Kerch disrupted the flow of Russian supplies. Russians mounted on a hopeless attack on the other countries' positions on the Chernaya River on August 16th. French-led assault on Sevastopol's outer defenses led to an evacuation on September 8th through 9th. Russians in turn captured Kars in eastern Anatolia on November 26th, thereby gaining a bargaining chip on the other countries. On September 11th, 1855, 3 days after a successful French assault on the Markov, a major strongpoint in the Russian defenses, the Russians blew up the forts, sank ships, and evacuated Sevastopol. Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale was asked to oversee the establishment of the nurses in the field hospitals. She and 38 nurses arrived near Constantinople in early November 1854. She became known as the Lady with the Lamp. Nightingale was sent to reform the sanitation, food, water supplies, and organization of the hospitals and also perform nursing work. Nightingale also established a system of keeping records and collected her data that enabled her to calculate mortality rates. Her calculations showed that British soldiers were 7 times more likely to die of disease such as cholera or typhus in field hospitals than they were to perish in the battle during wars. Her reforms and teachings of better medical equipment caused the mortality rate to fall from 60% at her arrival to 53% in February 1855, and then to 2.2% by May. At Crimea, the Russians lost. In September 1855, Sevastopol was taken over by the other countries. Peace treaty was then signed. In early 1856, after Australia threatened to join the Allies, Russia agreed to sign a peace treaty Paris, France, to end the war. As a result of the new the new Russian Tsar Alex II withdrew all claims to Balkan territory, leaving Ottoman Turkey intact. The Black Sea was neutralized, its waters were closed to all warships, and the Danube River was open to all nations for shipping. The treaty did not settle the relations of power in Eastern Europe, and the tensions would flare in the regions for decades. Overall, the Crimean War was mismanaged and poorly commanded on both sides. A total of about 500,000 men lost their lives, mostly from diseases such as cholera.